Hey guys, back here with Tua for another video. Update, pup date time, week 16. So this will be a review of my Bullmastiff puppy Tua from age 15 weeks to 16 weeks. I do these every Sunday just to give you guys an update on physical growth, obedience levels, changes that they go through, all those kinds of things. So from week 15 to week 16, he gained 4 pounds. His new weight is 48 pounds. Like I said, up 4 pounds, which he's been pretty consistent with that. I think the most he's put on in 1 week since we've had him has been 5. And he's done that once or maybe twice, but otherwise it's been like 4 every other time. So he's always right on that 4 to 5 pounds. So I would assume that's a good thing. He's nice and consistent every week with that 4 or 5 pound gain. Another thing that I touch on every week, the drooling situation. Last week I had said, and the week before, that the drooling was non-existent up to this point. The only drooling that he had been doing was drinking water. And that doesn't even really count in my eyes, like I've been saying, because it's really not actual drooling. It's just the water getting caught in his jowls and then just falling back out. And no big deal, just take a paper towel and wipe it up. And week 15 to week 16, it's the exact same thing. No drooling, just the water situation. Another thing that I've been updating every week is the barking scenario. Up to this point, he only barks when he's playing with other dogs, and he's really intense. And I would say up to now, same exact situation, with a slight exception. He'd been slightly more vocal a couple of more times. I think there was a couple times this week where he let out like a little yelp just to get my attention. Or if we were playing, he might have let out like a little yelp. More of a yelp than an actual bark. But otherwise a very quiet dog up to this point, unless he's playing. Doesn't bark to get out of his kennel. Doesn't bark to go outside. Doesn't bark to come inside. Pretty much no barking at all except for when he's playing. So that's been really good. Even outside, we have some dogs in the neighborhood, and they'll be barking at sometimes him or our min pin or other dogs, and our min pin is barking like crazy at them, and Tua just kind of sits there and watches them bark at each other. He is not a barker at all to this point, so that's awesome. Last week, as far as losing teeth, that was the first week that he started to lose his teeth, and this week, up to this point, he's lost all of his top teeth in the front here and all of his bottom teeth in the front here, and for the most part all of the adult ones have pushed up through and look like they're pretty much set. Now I have looked in his mouth today and felt all of his teeth, and I haven't noticed any others that have come out except for those front ones on the top and bottom, but it is all of them. And I haven't even noticed any that are loose to this point. None of his canines or molars. So maybe this week those will start loosening up or start coming out even. Energy-wise, I update every week. For the last few weeks, that's been pretty consistent. It's been up week to week. This week was no exception. Energy levels are up, higher this week than last week. And last week I had said that was the first week where I felt like I needed to get him out for a walk because he needed to burn the energy. So even from that, the energy's up from last week. Nothing crazy, nothing intense from, if you're used to like a Labrador or like I had a Doberman, dogs like that are, hunting dogs, something like that really need to go. But for him and where he was, it's up, and that's to be expected. He's getting older. He needs to expend some of that energy. He wants to run and play. Socialization this week. Well, actually, back to the energy thing, I just want to hit real quick too. Teething is off the charts this last week. Most intense teething since we've had him. that's with, as you can see, I got him chewing now. That's with wanting to bite fingers and hands. Also, we can control that to a certain point, and he's doing pretty good with that. It's fairly controllable, but that's right now it's the most intense that it's been, and he's losing teeth now, so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, chewing on everything. I wanted to touch on that. But now I was going to talk about socialization and what we've been able to do with him this week. We went on lots of walks this week, and we didn't really run into any dogs. There was a couple dogs out walking, but we weren't able to get close to them or anything. We did get him to a new store this week that he hadn't been in, and that was good. He was kind of scared going in there at first, and there was some loud bangs and stuff where he got scared of, but he just kind of, took a step back kind of thing and wasn't sure what was going on, and you could just tell he was skittish. But that's good that we're getting him used to sounds and stuff like that now. That's the point. Everyone in the stores wanted to stop and pet him, so of course we let him because that's also kind of the point. So he gets a lot of attention and a lot of love, and he enjoys all of it. And I always warn people to say, yes, he's nice, but he is teething right now, so watch your hands and fingers. And for whatever reason, out of all the people that have come up to pet him this week, he hasn't went for their hands or fingers at all. It just seems to be our family, so at least he's polite in that way, right, buddy? But yeah, he loves getting loved on, absolutely loves people. There's been no issues with people whatsoever. Not skittish of people either. He wants to go up to them. Where last week I said when he sees dogs that he doesn't know, he's a little bit hesitant at first. He'll kind of stay behind me, and after a minute or two, he's good. But with people, he wants to go up to them. There's no hesitation whatsoever. The tail's wagging, the ears are back, the head's up. He wants to get pet. So that's awesome. That's good. That's what we want. This week, as far as training went, it was a pretty busy week for myself and my wife, work-wise and with the kids. So I didn't get in as much actual training as I would have liked. Dude, what are you doing? But we did go for lots of walks, and when I was out on walks, I'd do some sit stays with them, things like that. We did a lot of backyard, just kind of free play, and I did my best when we were in the backyard to do some sit stays, comes, things like that. But it was very very laid back. Just we were playing more than we were actually trying to train them. I didn't even really have treats most of the time. But lots and lots of walks. We probably went for, I'd say, over a mile almost every day. And he's really enjoying them. He loves walking, and he's a really fun dog to walk on his leash because he walks so good. I think I mentioned this in a video before, but I would say of all the dogs I've owned, he's probably by far the best walking on a leash dog that I've ever owned already, and he's 16 weeks old. So love that. That's awesome. I don't know if it's just him or if it's a breed thing, but great at walking on a leash, so it's fun to walk him. One other thing this week that I kind of noticed for the first time is maybe a little bit of guarding instinct. We had a car kind of later at night, a couple nights ago. He was dead asleep in his bed in our living room, and I was watching TV, and this car that had kind of a louder muffler, well, I think it was a car, it might have been a truck, whatever, not important, pulled into our driveway. So the lights kind of shined into our window and into the house, and you could hear the muffler, and basically all they were doing was turning around in the driveway. But he shot up from a dead sleep where he was snoring and just sat up in his bed. He didn't run around or anything, and he didn't even bark, but he shot right up, and he started doing like a woof, woof, woof. I mean, kind of a bark, but it wasn't a full-on bark. It was more of just a, I guess I don't know how to describe it other than what I just did. It was like a under his breath kind of bark, if that makes sense. And he stayed alert and did that for probably, I don't know, close to a minute. And I had to basically go over and calm him down. And he didn't really seem aggressive. He just seemed alert. But to me, that was kind of a little guarding instinct thing. So I guess that was kind of cool to see and something different that I hadn't seen up to this point. And then he just went right back to bed. No big deal. Didn't really stay too fired up for too long. Lastly, the last thing that I'd wanted to cover this week, which was also a first that I've kind of noticed, is shedding. Now, it is shedding season, being that it's springtime, and I have never brushed him to this point, but what are you doing? He's starting to noticeably shed. Like when I have him like I have him now, and I'm holding him, and I get up, I'll notice some hair on my clothes, and that's the first that I've really noticed that to this point. Nothing like crazy intense or anything, or like for you like lab owners or other, like a German Shepherd or something that sheds a lot. Nothing like that, but just noticeable for the first time that I'm getting hair on my clothes from him. So, and like I said, I'm going to go get a brush this week since I haven't got one for him yet. And I will keep track of that for my expenses for when I tell you guys how much we spend on him. So don't worry about that. And I'll get him brushed up really good, and we'll see if that helps. And we'll see if it subsides here also in the coming weeks, just because it is shedding season. Other than that, that pretty much covers week 15 to week 16. Like I said, it was another good week. A couple new experiences with him as he's getting older. We're almost 50 pounds now. Next Sunday we'll be over that 50-pound mark. I'll guarantee that because he's 4 to 5 every week, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, I don't have anything to add that I can think of off the top of my head. If you guys have any more questions, ask away. I'm loving interacting with some of you guys that are following the channel now. I love getting comments and being able to interact. So go ahead and ask away. We'll try and get a few more videos out this week, and we'll for sure do the pup date like we do every Sunday. Till then, we'll see you guys later. Say bye, buddy. Say bye. Thanks for watching, guys.